This video is brought to you by the University Writing Center, a unit of the Department of Rhetoric and Writing at the University of Texas at Austin. You can contact us at uwc.utexas.edu.
Hi, I'm Alice Bott, Interim Director of the University Writing Center. I'm here today to talk to you about using Zoom for writing conferences with your students. We'll talk about how to set Zoom preferences, how to share your screen, how to help your students share their screen so the two of you can look at the same document while you talk about it. And we'll also talk about annotations that are available for you to use to respond to your students' writing in Zoom. To get started, let's log into Zoom. Once I've logged in, I'm taken directly to the meetings page. But if this doesn't happen for you, check for meetings over in the left-hand sidebar. To start a new meeting, click Schedule a New Meeting, which is near the top of your screen, just left of center. You'll be asked to fill in a meeting name, a description if you like, and the date and time of your meeting. The rest of this page has filled automatically, and I'm only going to change a few things. About halfway down the page, I make sure, under Video, that both the host and the participant button are clicked to on. Under Audio, I make sure the option for both is selected so that students can connect via telephone or computer audio as needed. Then I scroll down to Meeting Options, and I uncheck Mute Participants upon entry. That ensures I can hear the student when they join the meeting, and I don't have to remind them to unmute themselves. There are a few other things you might consider changing in this section. Here, you can change who can attend the meeting, just UT Austin people or anyone with a guest account in Zoom. And here, you can choose whether you're going to record the meeting. Some students may benefit from being able to replay the conversation with you, so you might want to consider this option. You might even add a line to your syllabus, asking students to tell you if they'd like a recorded version of their conferences with you. After you've set up your meeting, click Save at the bottom of the page. Then, I recommend using the left sidebar to access settings. Remember how many items on the meeting setup page self-populated when I created the Zoom meeting? That happened because of how I set things up here in settings. For instance, the host video switch is in the on position. If I'd had the participants video switch in the on position as well, I wouldn't need to change it every time I set up a meeting. You can review the other options on this page later, but for now, I want to call your attention to an option called Chat. It's the 20th item on the page, so you'll be scrolling down a bit. I have the chat function turned on, so students can send messages to me or each other during meetings. This is handy if you or the student has an unexpected problem with audio. It's also particularly useful in a writing conference if you want to send the student a link to a resource, such as a Writing Center handout on thesis sentences. To really optimize this feature, you want to make sure students can save the chat. That means unchecking the box that says Prevent Participants from saving the chat. A little further down the page, you can switch on File Transfer, which allows participants to send files through the in-meeting chat. You and your student could share their file through chat, but there's a better, more streamlined way to share documents for a writing conference, such as the student's draft. If you scroll down a bit further, you'll see a heading called Screen Sharing. Under Who Can Share, make sure to choose All Participants. That's going to enable your student to share their document with you so you can both see it. And a little further down on the page, look for Annotations. Clicking this button allows both of you to use annotation tools while looking at the paper. You may also want to click the option to allow saving of shared screens with annotations. This allows students to retain the work you did together in your conference. Now you're set up to run a writing conference. I've copied the invitation and sent a link to my model student. Now I'm going to start this meeting and wait for her to turn up. My model student has joined us in this Zoom. Let me show you a few features before she and I get started talking. So up here in the right-hand corner is a feature that lets you toggle back and forth between views of the screen. So this is the gallery view, and if I want to go back to speaker view, here's speaker view, and the person who's speaking will be in the larger box. Now let's move the cursor to the bottom of the screen. If I hover here, I get a number of icons. Just to the left of center are the two we'll be working with, Chat and Share Screen. If you click on Chat, a window opens that allows you to type messages to your student or your student to type messages to you. As I mentioned, this is very helpful if someone's audio cuts out or the screen freezes, but it also enables me to send links to useful resources. If you've been working with a student and it becomes clear that she needs help working on her thesis statements, you can just send a link to one of the Writing Center's handouts. This one is on thesis statements, directly through chat. And since we set up Chat to allow file transfer, you can also upload files directly from your desktop and share them with the student. Now let's walk through the process of sharing a screen. First, click on the Share Screen button at the bottom of the page. It gives you options for what you can share. You can share your whole desktop, which you may not wish to do, or you can select which screen you'll share. In this case, I'll share my student's paper. I click it, I click Share, and now we can see the same paper. When I click Stop Share, she can't see it anymore. To streamline things and let your student have more control over their paper, you might want them to share the document with you. Begin by reminding them to remove from their desktop anything they wouldn't want to share with you inadvertently. Then direct them to the Share Screen button and ask them to choose what they want to share and tell them to click Share. Now the two of you can see the same screen. If your student shares and the type is too small for you to read, they can zoom in on the word processor or browser. If the student needs to share a different screen, they will need to click Stop Sharing, then click Share Screen again, and choose the new window. Now the fun begins. The annotation tools in this feature allow you to make this conference very interactive. Please note that the annotation tools look slightly different for the presenter and for the other viewer. The presenter will see a button that says Annotate on the Zoom navigation bar at the top of the page. The other viewers can access annotations by clicking View Options and then clicking Annotate. Note, the Select, Spotlight, and Save options are only available to the presenter, the student in this case. It's also important to know that only what is currently displayed on the screen can be annotated. For this reason, the presenter will have to save the annotations and then erase them each time they are ready to scroll down to the next portion of the paper. Let's say you start the session by having the student read the paper aloud. As she reads, you can mark or circle things that you want to talk about. You can provide stamps to indicate that the student's made a good point, or that you really like something, or even that you're a little confused. If the student wishes to save the annotations, she will save after each page. Note again that only the person who shared the document can save. The save icon appears right here on the upper right of that person's screen. Once the annotations are saved, the sharer can erase them, and you can go on to annotate the next page. Though students have access to these annotations functions, it may make more sense for them to make certain changes in the document itself. That's actually better for tasks that require moving back and forth between pages of the document. For instance, maybe you've asked the student to identify the topic sentence of the paper, which is on page 2. Or maybe you've asked her to summarize each paragraph in the margins while you read the paper aloud, so you can review the comments and discuss whether the paragraphs are logically organized. For tasks such as these, encourage the student to mark directly on their document. You'll be able to add your own input with annotations as they do, and they can save your comments. I hope this video has been helpful to you as you prepare to work with your students in Zoom. Just so you know, the University Writing Center is also eager to work with them. Have them contact us at uwc.utexas.edu for online consultations.